Thank you for joining us on another brand new episode of The Untold, the show all about great guests and their stories. For today's episode, we have Haidar Alhasan, who is a creative, I would say. He's a music producer, he's also a designer.
He seems to cover many hats, and I think that people will love his brand of authenticity from what I saw on his Instagram. And I'm curious to see how his creative journey unfolded.
Yeah, Lujane, you are curious, I'm curious. Hopefully, the audience are curious. With that in mind, we're going to go on break, so we sit down with him and find our answers. We're back. We are stylish, and I do say that because we have Haidar Alhasan with us. Thank you for joining us on The Untold.
Thank you for having me. Means a lot.
Haidar, you're a designer.
Yes.
I believe your journey first began when you moved at the age of 16 to California. How did that shape the way that you view art, design, and everything?
I would say it shaped it in a very big form and like in many different ways. Really, it just made me go out there and I see different types of the world and how they express culture and entertainment and art, and you just seem to like naturally gather inspo from here and there, which kind of like specializes your own art into being like your form of art and not no one else's art. So for me, it's all about originality, and that's what it gives me.
It's funny that you said you studied outside because that's something we all share. We've all been, studying outside, and I think what is something that a lot of people don't take into account is how much it affects you in your day-to-day life and your
Oh,
approach to your career. And I'd imagine it's the same because you said it's how you define art and how you look at everything. So
yes.
talk us through those, moments precisely. Like how did being abroad influence you, Haida, and your approach to art, to the scene, to creativity altogether?
Altogether, really, it's just life, you know? When you move from somewhere and you're there alone, I was there alone, and even you have to do the little things, like just in life, not even with art, not even in entertainment, just like making sure everything is like taking care of yourself, the little things in everyday life. Um, it's it makes you grow up faster, you know? And it's like a constant training and like for your mind and for your mental. And for me, it always first starts with the mentality. So, like the very first, I go by Element, and the very first project I dropped was called Elementality.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
all about the mentality and going abroad, especially when you're doing it alone, very far away from your home, it really shapes up your mental to be quite strong.
No, that does make a lot of sense. And as Abdullah said, we both have that experience as well. And it stops you from taking things for granted as well. You really see
Yeah,
all the differences and you really get to grow into yourself.
for sure.
But let's dive back a bit. So, I actually heard that you first started by opening a recording studio. What was that like?
Well, it wasn't the first thing I really did, but it was the first like major move I did in California. It was great, honestly. It's all the studio right there was all about like building relationships with other artists, and I learned so much with like just I was at the first point of doing the studio. I was doing literally everything, like everything. Sound engineering here, setting up the mic, doing this, making sure the frequencies in the room are right. At the same time, you got to jump on the mic. You got to work your way through when there's like a million other projects going on. So what I say I picked up most from the recording studio is how to become a businessman and like entrepreneurship, because we just grew up straight into like art and just like being creative. We didn't really think about the side of business, but when you're really doing this, it's a big percent. Like it's sometimes it's 80% business, 20% talent. So just learning business really.
Yeah, honestly, I think you got it. You hit the nail right there because we previously had a guest who's into the stocks market or the business or corporation something, and he said
Right.
that the key element is that you're selling the client, not the product.
Exactly.
Yeah, so like I said, it's 80%, it's all about the mentality of the process of it. The
Exactly. You
20% is
you have to bring value to a product in order for it to sell and move the right way.
yeah. And when you were a recording artist, is that where you were named Element, the one you mentioned before?
Yeah, really. I had that name handed to me because I grew up doing like all the elements of like hip hop
Oh,
and then it really started there with music, and then I got into illustrating fashion, and I started like being a stylist for like a lot of like names in California, in the Bay Area. That's like San Francisco,
Yeah.
in LA also. So yeah, that's my journey. That's the element where I'm really like strong at. That's my element, you know.
So, speaking of going from recording to illustrating and finding your niche in fashion design, what was the moment in California that led you to believe, I want to be a fashion designer?
Okay, well, really, it was when we were doing shows and when we were like shooting music videos and stuff. Everybody in on set or just people around would just like praise the fashion. All the fashion that's going on there, they would just praise it. And in the beginning, it wasn't even it wasn't even my designs. It was just me putting brands that I like together. I used to always like and go look for brands that's not that popular. Like I wouldn't go to the European side, even though I love European fashion, but I would go more into the Japanese side of things, Japanese garments, Japanese clothing, having it all look weird and unique to the people's eyes. And then it came to a point where artists, all type of artists, doesn't matter what they do, they would just come up and I have this event, I need a stylist, well, give me advice on this, give me advice on that. What do you think I should wear? Even classmates in university, like, should we put this together for this night out? Is this looking right? It was just coming up to me, so I was like, you know what? I just got to make my own clothes. If I have the vision, I start illustrating and getting the right looks, and that's how it really started.
You know, I love how you mentioned, you know, a little anecdote about being approached by someone asking, can you do this and that? Because you mentioned you're in the Bay Area. I was a little bit close by in Los Angeles, and
Nice.
this is true story. As soon as I got out of the airport, I got into the cab or the taxi driver, and then the guy plays the music, and then he turns around, gives me his business card. He says, "I'm the composer."
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's like
yeah,
typical Los Angeles
it is.
like stuff. Typical, like
Yeah.
everyone. That's why I was talking about mentality, because you just come across stuff like that, and then you never know who you run into.
It's opportunities everywhere.
Everywhere, everywhere.
Yeah, and I do want to ask you about something, you know, as your role as a designer. I'd imagine a lot of people have misconceptions, have, you know, the wrong ideas about it, what it takes to be a designer. So, what are those misconceptions people have about becoming a designer?
Honestly, I never met any misconceptions when it comes to fashion design. I met misconceptions when it came to music. Fashion, maybe we can say the timing that I started doing fashion, it was really accepted, even in our like region over here, like um, around the Gulf and around the Arabic countries. Every time I'm out there and I let them know I'm from Kuwait, they're, oh, you guys know how to wear clothes, you guys know how to dress up and stuff like that. Like they even see us like that. We're powerful in this tool, out of even throughout the region. So misconceptions, I never really met them, but definitely in music. Music is like, a lot of people tend to like judge straight away, and they'll just think about misconceptions for days before even getting deep into your artistry and seeing who you really are. But fashion, I think fashion really speaks for itself. Like before saying anything, it's just you look at a fit, and then, alhamdulillah, nothing wrong with it, you know?
Speaking of what you said, I didn't realize, but you're right, because in Kuwait, we do have very good fashion sense, mashallah.
We
A lot
really
of
do.
people have a lot of very individual style. We love shopping, we love putting things together. And
Exactly.
you can go out anywhere and see people in all kinds of fits.
Right.
But what was it like for you after moving from California back to Kuwait? Did you find it as a very big difference creatively, or did you find the flow quite easy for you?
I found it very nothing in the road I did was like really easy. So it was very different, it was very hard. The people in Cali don't listen to the same stuff the people listen to here. Uh, Music, when it comes to like Arabic rap, it has its own niche too, and it has different type of sound. So a lot of people might not even understand the type of music, or not even comprehend to like listen to it, to the music that's made in California versus the music over here. Here, it's very much, we're a small country, we're a small region too. It's all about what the listener wants to hear, and then you getting your message across, but in the image or in the sound that the people would accept or like really would fall in love with. So I would say it's very different. There's nothing the same. But the spark and the passion has to always be there, you know?
You got to keep that flame alive.
Got to, got to.
Yeah, honestly, if you're doing something you love, they say you're never gonna work a day in your life. So as long as you're into something you're passionate about. But I do, funny thing is when you mention Arabic rap, one of my favorite current artists nowadays, I'm not gonna mention his name for, we don't get
Yeah, I
emotional
understand.
problems and stuff. He actually raps in Fusha, Arabic Fusha. And at the first time of his career, he was met with a lot of backlash. He was met with a lot of negativity.
I
But
bet.
yeah, but once people got into the rhythm, the groove, they were like, okay, no, he's actually really good.
Yeah,
And now he's very successful. And so, like you said, it's all about persevering. It's all about staying, going, having those
exactly.
hateful comments, but also trying to ignore them
Yeah.
to be on the path you're on.
Yeah, and alhamdulillah, it's growing. It's growing now. You'll find major companies. I won't say their name. You can say major companies doing like all types of ads, and the music is rap. The people they're bringing, they're rappers. Like, so it's way more accepted than how it was. Like, I would say 10 to 15 years ago. Way more accepted, and it's something really nice too. Like, it's good to see from someone who's been doing it for a long time. It's actually it's a goal, really. It's a goal.
No, I agree with you because nowadays I think it's become a lot more normal for people from all different cultures to make music and share that music.
Exactly.
And everywhere you kind of find, you'll hear African music, Chinese rap is really
We
up
have
and
our own
coming at the
sound now
moment,
too.
right?
Kuwait is having their own sound
Yes,
too,
and
like
it's so
specific.
unique, and you can see a lot more performances happening, and the youth really are gathering together to create different things,
Exactly.
especially in the music scene, whereas before it was much harder to kind of get that recognition,
Much harder.
especially as an Arab.
Right.
But what about when it comes to fashion and design? Did you find it as a huge cultural difference when you came back, or was it quite easy to fit into the formula, I guess you could say?
Now, fashion, I would say, is kind of easy. For me, at least, it was. Because I was never into being something very specific with fashion. I would like to. It's like when we were talking about the bringing value to our product. That's all I would focus on, and I would focus on just what I really started focusing on. Honestly, was putting our culture on the clothing. Like you'll see a collection where it's all high fashion, and then in between them you'll see hoodies or shirts with prints and with stuff that's culturally tied to us. It makes the wear, like the person, the consumer who's buying it, it's like they're buying a part of who they are. So really, I didn't find it hard. I didn't see a lot of obstacles, and it's not like music. Like even if there was a jacket that was a certain cut with no print on it, people in Cali would want to buy it. People in Kuwait would want to buy it. It doesn't matter. It's just good clothing. So fashion is just about whether it's good or not to your taste.
Yeah,
Not like
I
music.
think music is a lot more subjective.
Exactly.
Yeah, and honestly, this is a topic for another episode that I'm gonna go, but there's something called the Hollywoodization of the world, where it's like whatever people saw in Hollywood movies, they can take,
Exactly.
That's why people now are more acceptable for outfit changes, wardrobe changes, and stuff that resembles Western societies. And the long rant is that it's all due to Hollywood. But before we bore our audiences with that, we are gonna go on a very quick break. We'll come right back after this. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And I believe, when we got off camera, you said that, you are familiar with those kind of ideas where movies are affecting people's, outfit changes. And I got into a little bit of rant, so I do want to give you the space to elaborate more on it.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It does have that effect. It does have that effect, and it puts a stamp on where the industry is. But for me, I would say for me, I never followed that, and I think that helped me so much with what I do today. Honestly, I'm Japanese at heart, so like I'll go anything Japanese. I was way more into using the Japanese style to run a trend or to create a trend. 'Cause, for me, it's all about creating trends when it comes to clothes.
Well, speaking on your experience on both music and fashion, is there a particular way you like to approach both in terms of aesthetics or storytelling?
Of course. All I do is do it through aesthetics, and it's all about storytelling. I think that's how you bring value to a product. That's how you make a customer feel like this brand is home. This brand is, I'm not just buying clothes, I'm buying into a lifestyle, and this is who I am. So I would totally say that, yeah, it has that power. Fashion really does have that power. Music too.
So if we were to put you on the spot, you know, it's like asking a parent to pick your favorite child. You know, do you see yourself more as a music producer or as a designer, or are they intertwined?
It's a very hard question. I get that a lot too. But they both pick each other up. I got endless love for both. I still can't choose one. I would let fate choose that for me. I would let my destiny choose that for me. Whatever Allah has prepared for me is where I'm gonna go.
I love that. I'm a big believer of that philosophy. Sometimes even if you go in one direction, if you're not meant to be in that place, you will find yourself being
Yes.
removed from it.
It's like you're in an endless wave. You just let the wave take you there, you know?
But hopefully you don't go in a one direction because that band sucks.
I actually differ. I loved them as a teenager.
Shots fired.
Me and the female fandoms.
Well,
Was it a struggle to balance both though? Or is it a
It's
struggle?
everyday struggle. It's everyday struggle.
How do you
No
manage?
sleep, no sleep. Stress. It's two major things, and they're two they're very different, but they go hand in hand and they complement each other. But like what he said earlier, as long as you have the passion and the love for it, that's what's gonna keep you going.
and you know, speaking of keeping going, you've held major events here, mashallah, in Kuwait, you know,
Alhamdulillah,
fashion events, pop-ups, all
Alhamdulillah.
sorts of things. But is there a defining moment between all of this you'd pick that, and you'd say that was the most important one, or that was an integral one in your career?
Yes, there is. I wouldn't want to say the companies also, but for me, I'm gonna just be humble about it. Like I choose to be humble about it, and I choose to I choose to tell myself that every single opportunity that comes my way is gonna take me to another step. And this is a pivotal moment for me, and I have to give it my all. I think this is what brought me here. Is just don't ever have everything as an equal. Don't see anything bigger than the other, and give it your all always. No matter if the project is big or if it's small or if it's right there in the middle, give it your all.
Well, I love that. And I do think in both music and fashion, you've come a long way.
Thank you.
Would you say that there's a moment that really highlighted it for you, that things are going as planned, as much as they can be, I guess?
In fashion?
In either or both.
Yeah, well, first it would be like the type of respond you would get online, and obviously numbers is a big thing in the game. So like when you see your numbers going up, when you see the love growing, and then when you see big companies like can I say the company's name? Can I say a company's name or no?
Well, I probably couldn't.
Couldn't, yeah,
You can insinuate
so it's
them.
like when a big company that's very known around here in Kuwait, everybody knows them, they're huge. Like probably it's all in our phones or our SIM cards, you know? Like
Okay.
it's when they reached out to me to work and to make clothes for like the artist who's in the video for like Kuwait National Day, that's when you know you're like
Like I made it,
steps up.
basically.
For me, I would never say I made it. What's making it, you know? Like, what's making it? Someone can make it all the way and then still not be happy. So it's just being thankful for the opportunities to come, and like how I said earlier, like just give it your all. Just give it your all, stay humble, and just like keep it pushing.
You know, it's funny that you say what defines you making it, because it reminds me of the Felix guy who jumped on from the outer space to break the record. You know, long story short is that he said it took me to get this high to realize how small we are.
Yeah.
So you're never gonna make it, right?
It takes 10 years for an overnight success, or it takes,
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing.
And I do want to bring it back all the way before all the success, because you know you've succeeded, mashallah, in two, I would say,
Alhamdulillah.
professions that are not only niche but are extremely hard to succeed in, not even internationally but here locally.
Extremely hard.
Yeah. So talk us through the hardship of going to these paths, and like, you know, the road wasn't smooth always. So how did you persevere through all of it?
The hardships, you just gotta stay focused on what you do, because hardships can be very big. They can be also here in our region. It could be something that can affect your future. You know what I mean? So it's just about, don't listen to what anyone says or thinks. Just go for what you want to do. Make sure you do it in a way where it's accepted also, because you don't want to be that type of person. You wanna build love, not hate, right? Even though there's both in the game, and both of them are very important. But it's all about just doing what you want to do, what you feel like doing. Like, I stopped asking like for advice here and there nowadays. You know what I mean? Maybe I will, like, to a certain mentor here and there, but ultimately you have to just like take that decision yourself.
Well, it's like you said before, you try to be authentic, you try to be original.
Got to be.
And I think especially in today's world where everything is so curated, it's important to keep that flame of authenticity alive. Because what makes you different from other designers? This is your touch.
The flame.
Your flame.
Yes.
It's your vision. And
Yes.
that's what signals you out from the other people doing similar things. Because
Exactly.
as Abdullah said, fashion design, music, they're very popular fields, so it is hard to succeed in them.
Right.
And you mentioned before not knowing when you make it, and I think most creatives are tougher on themselves than they are on anybody else.
Tell me about it.
So I think even if, let's say, you have a completed design, you will find fault with it. Whereas people around you will be like, no, it's amazing, it looks great.
Exactly. It's
But
the story of my life.
yeah, I've been around a lot of creatives, so I can understand this
Yeah.
pain that happens. But speaking of that, what would you say to the next generation of people who maybe want to start doing fashion or something? What would you tell them how to get into the industry without relying too much on, let's say, fashion trends?
Don't be scared to release it. Don't be scared to drop it. Like, a lot of people will make a song, hold on to it for like long time. I can do that sometimes, even to this day. Or make clothes and then like scared of dropping it. Should I do this? And no, maybe when I get the right budget, maybe when I grow with a bigger platform. No, like, make clothes and drop and release them. Create and release them. Learn from your mistakes. Do the mistake. Do the mistake. Don't be all like, oh no, I gotta learn first. That's how you're gonna learn, and put your hands on it. Don't just like go looking for help left and right. You have to go through that road alone. You have to go through that road really trying everything, really. That's how you're gonna find yourself.
Yeah, I mean, people forget that Justin Bieber got his start by posting videos online.
Exactly.
Because, yeah. So you never know, if you're holding on to your work, nobody's gonna see it. But if you
Nobody's
put it
gonna-
out there, opportunities may come.
Got to.
Yeah, and like you said, the thing that I really enjoyed about pursuing these kind of endeavors when you're abroad is that there are so many places opportunities could come for you. And that's why I was asking you about here locally, like the toughness that required for you here to persevere and continue. I'm talking about maybe, mental challenges, maybe something within you, what it took for you to stay through failure and move on, right? Beyond that point.
It's really going through the make it or break it moments. So, and going back to the mentality, it has to be strong, and you have to just pick yourself up and try again. Like, that's the most important thing. So, like, don't be scared of failure, Don't be scared of failure. And just don't be insecure with your art. A lot of people be insecure with their art, and I understand artists can be sensitive, but what's it gonna happen if people don't like it?
Nothing.
Nothing. You're just gonna keep going. And then one day, there might be 5 people who don't like it. There might be 100 people who absolutely love it. And sometimes it could be 100 people who hate it and 5 people who love it, but you still gotta do it, But I think right now, artists are getting smarter. Artists are getting more business-minded, and they're doing the right thing.
Well, you mentioned before about how the recording studio helped you figure out the business side of things more. And I think especially in today's day and age, a lot of artists want to go into art, and let's say they put aside the fear of failure or perfectionism or overthinking their work or being too sensitive about it, they still have that thing where they don't know how to sell their product. Because especially with social media and stuff like that, you can create stuff. If you don't market it well, it may not go anywhere. So what advice do you have for them in that regard?
That's a very good point, actually. As far as advice for that, you can start off small. You can start with, if you have 2 or 3 supporters who's gonna invest in your product, you're gonna win. You're winning, and that's how it grows. And there's nothing wrong for in this part of the game is nothing wrong with actually going out there and building a team and having people do certain things for you. Like I would love it if I would just be able to focus on the art and have people work in motion for that. My early days wasn't like that. Even now to this day, I'll have my hands on almost everything, but you have to surround yourself by geniuses. You have to don't be afraid to be around people who are better than you. So you get to excel and you get to become better. So that's what I would say. It's all about your surroundings. It's all about who you know, and how are you gonna like take your shot at the procedure.
Thank you. Well, all credits goes to our production team, right? They are the ones who did their fine research, and also all thanks goes to you, and hopefully your pursuits of Kuwait Fashion Week comes through. And let's consider this my audition tape to be on the catwalk.
Let's go.
He's quite tall, so you
Let's
never
go.
know.
Let's go. Yeah,
Thank
I'll
you.
give you amazing looks.
Well, thank you again for joining us. Thank you for devoting the
welcome.
time for the Untold.
Most welcome.
And with that, dear viewers, we are going to take a very quick break and we'll come right back after this one. Well, that's it from us, the team of the Untold. Another brilliant episode, highly fun, very entertaining. I just loved it.
I did too, and I love the advice that he had for creatives, that just put it out there, don't be afraid, and always try your best to be yourself in your endeavors as well.
Yeah, I loved how he was unabashedly himself, right? He was all about taking your inner self, your outer self, and be presented to the outer world, right? Whether you are met with blockage or negativity, it doesn't matter. It's you against them, it's you and you.
I love his confidence, and I'm curious to see what he has in store for the future. I hope the Kuwaiti Fashion Week happens, because I can't wait to see you on stage.
Hopefully we can see that happen. Hopefully I can put on a good show. But until that time comes, this is the time where we end today's episode of The Untold. Until the next one, goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now, and see you next time.